Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Miasin. I feel like I haven't made a video in 10 billion years because, yeah, it's kind of true, actually. I haven't made a video in a while, even though you kind of saw a video from me yesterday, but it doesn't really count because, again, it was a pre-recorded video. But now I'm in Australia. I'm in Launceston, Tasmania, for anyone wondering. I'm loving Australia so far, by the way. It's absolutely crazy. Shoutouts to everyone who's here. I think, hold on, was it 2 days ago? Yes, it was. I already lost track of time. I was in Pojang's locals, and Jonah invited me, by the way, so shoutouts to Jojo as well as Po. The locals experience was extremely fun, and I also had tons of fun with the whole crew afterwards. It was just like a memorable experience, so again, like 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you guys go to Sydney one day, you really gotta go, go check out the Strike One Collectibles. I believe that's the name of the card shop. Whatever, I made a community post. You guys should definitely check it out. Anyways, today we've got an OCG metagame breakdown, and it's actually really new. So for once, I'm actually not late with these uploads. And yeah, we got this is a really big compilation. It's 187 top performing decks from 29 tournaments during the span of basically just a little less than a week. And as you can see, Tenpai Dragon is very, very close to Fire King, and this is getting a little dangerous because, again, Tenpai Dragon is a going second deck. So how the hell can a going second deck be almost just as good as going first? Like, for almost the majority of the existence of Yu-Gi-Oh!, going first decks were always the best, but now we're seeing a shift, and for a very good reason. Anyways, before we proceed, I would really appreciate you even more than I already do if you could smash the like and subscribe button. I really need to boost the algorithm because, yo, the views have kind of been low so far, and I can count on you guys to change this up. Anyways, so the first deck, of course, Fire King 40 out of 187, yes, there we go. And then Tenpai Dragon 32 out of 187, so that translates to 17.1%. Pure Snake Eye, third best deck in the TCG. Pure Snake Eye is honestly doing maybe a little better than Fire King when we see conversion rates, but when we see the amount of decks, you know, the amount of players that people are choosing to go with Fire King, it's a higher number. But again, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is the top players that are going like super far, like in the finals, winning the events. What decks are they playing? And usually it's between Fire King and Pure Snake Eye, but Pure Snake Eye has been doing very, very well in the hands of Pac, as well as just about anyone who's in Pac's team, for some reason, does very well. And that reason is because they are very hardworking and they know how to beat the meta with Pure Snake Eyes. And they've done their homework, actually, because Pure Snake Eye does have a pretty nice Fire King matchup. The reason for that is simply because you have more room for non-engine, and you need non-engine in order to beat Fire King. But yeah, anyways, after that we got Voiceless Voice, again, the new support from Legacy of Destruction in the form of Blessing is pretty nice. And then Despia, again, in the TCG, the best non-fire decks are these two decks. In the OCG, it's pretty much the same thing, but there's also Tenpai Dragon, so that's the one difference. And then Terminal World deck, so Ritual Beast, it's a good deck, it's a shifter deck as well, so there's that. Chimera, Melodious, another scary deck from Legacy of Destruction. I kept saying that this deck will be tier 1 when we'll have it. It's just another deck that plays with one single card. It's very... it's not really resourceful, I'm not gonna lie, because you're always locked under Melodious, but it's very just, it's very resilient. Like, you can have, like, a bunch of handships and it might just not be enough, honestly. Like, you can have Drool and Nibiru against Melodious, and it's not gonna do much because the Big Fusion can dodge Nibiru completely by banishing all of your monsters temporarily, and then on the end phase, they all come back. So that was a nice Nibiru out there. Too bad it doesn't do shit. Anyways, Rescue Ace, yeah, this deck doesn't do anything in the TCG, even though it's a fire deck. It's just, like, by far the worst one. Fire King, Pure Snake Eye is way better, because you just don't really have to play the bricks, right? Centurion, this deck doesn't have King Calamity, and it's still good in the OCG, so that's kind of nuts. King Calamity has to get banned here in the TCG, otherwise this deck will be, like, super up there. By the way, I'm really sorry for, again, the bad video quality from, like, my face and everything. I know my face is so beautiful that it doesn't really matter whether I'm using, like, a 144p or, like, 2160p camera, but yeah, I'm using the built-in webcam from my laptop, and it is dog shit. Anyways, we've got Labyrinth, okay, Runic, Salamander, I keep messing this up. Anyways, Salamander, Flunderies, Melodious Valiance, okay, yeah, very thinking. Vernalizer, Emancipator, this is disappointing. Yubel, honestly, this deck should be better, because it actually has quite a lot of good matchups. The Voiceless Voice matchup for Yubel is free, because their Skull Guardian has 4100 attack. You can only attack it and not the Novox, which works in your favor because you want to attack the Skull Guardian anyways, and then you reflect the damage. Their negate doesn't really do anything because all of your scary effects are continuous effects, so they don't really have much to negate. and your cards all float, so what are they gonna do? Yeah, I'll destroy your cards with my trap card. Okay, sure, effect. Or I will negate nothing with Seravis. Yeah, doesn't really do much of anything. Ubel is actually a very good meta call, and I think it's also a really good investment at the moment. It's very cheap, and it has, again, a lot of great potential in the near future. That is due to the fact of, that is due to the Legacy of Destruction support. Very good set, by the way. It's basically just Age of Overlord 3.0. So it all started with Age of Overlord, the first wave of support for like the really insane decks. And then after that, we got Phantom Nightmare, and then Legacy of Destruction is going to close everything. And then after that, I don't even know what's the next set. But anyways, Chaos Galaxy Eyes, okay, Chaos Thunder Dragon, Fiend Link, Raid Raptor, bro, oh my god, yo, they need me, man, they need me. Yeah, if this video can get 1,000 likes, I'm gonna move to the OCG and show them the way. Yeah, I know I said that for the TCG as well, but leave me alone, okay? It's just a matter of time before I play this deck too here, okay? Anyways, a bunch of lawn mowing decks, not that I care. Horus decks, actually, lawn mowing is one of my favorite cards. Kashtira, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't really care. Okay, yeah, alright, cool. I really don't care. Alright, Fire King. So, everyone is playing just about the same main deck. The side deck is a little different. Like, what trap card blowout am I going to play? Am I going to play Anti-Spell, Summon Limit, Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment, or a Pointer of the Red Lotus? A Pointer of the Red Lotus is not really good in the mirror match, as Akira, my boy, is saying right here, because you know, the Fire King Mirror, your opponent has, like, so many one-card starters. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I've got Snake Eye Ash and Bonfire. Okay, I'll make you lose the Snake Eye Ash. Okay, sure. Cool story, bro. Activate Bonfire, and now you lose. It's not really good, but against decks that don't really have that much consistency, a Pointer of the Red Lotus could be pretty decent. Or against decks that play a lot of board breakers, you just make them lose their board breakers after you full combo, and you also win. But again, in a deck where the consistency level is just so ridiculously high, I would rather not. Anyways, there is nothing too interesting about this deck list. Again, the fact that everybody in the OCG is playing 10 Fire King cards, so the 6 monsters as well. So yeah, that is 6 monsters, as well as Double Island and Skyburn. I just really hate it, honestly. I think you're better off with like 7 or 8 Fire King cards max. Kirin, it's anywhere between 2 to 3. If you're really like insane, like a madman, you can play 1 Kirin. And then if you're like actually on drugs, you can play 0 Sanctuary. That is actually really stupid though, because now Diabell Star doesn't do anything. And then the Skyburn, I just don't like it. Like, I know maybe it's like a way to like counter Max C, but not really, because the Fire King engine, you're not even going into it under Max C anyway. So that's the reason why Skyburn just doesn't make any sense. You're just adding more bricks to your deck, and also the Double Island, bro. Like, no, just stop doing that. Honestly, there are a lot of things. The more I think about it, the more I realize the OCG is just wrong in a bunch of ways they think. Again, like, you can use the argument of, yeah, but Maxi changes everything, but bro, come on. Like, should it change, like, how you, like, these kinds of ratios too? Really not, nah. Anyways, the rest of the list is fine. The extra deck, Double Hita, actually, even in the TCG, some people were considering that, so that's pretty interesting. In the, in the side deck, we can see some cards that aren't worth main decking, but they're nice in the side. So, for example, Ghost Ogre could also be a cross-out target, but against 10 by Dragon, it's really nice. You hit the field spell, and it hurts a lot. I believe you can hurt the field spell. Yeah, you can, because it's not like Union Hanger where it searches on activation. I really have to check. Hold on a second. Brimming Sengen Manor. Yeah, during your main phase, you can add 1 10 by Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. There we go. Then discard 1 card. Oh, that's even better. Yeah, so you ogre that, and yeah, they just don't get a search, and it's once per turn. And without this field spell, their monsters are also not unaffected by opponents' activated effects during the main phase 1. So it's actually really nice. So Ghost Ogre is one of the best ways to counter 10 by Dragon at the moment, which is the reason why 10 by Dragon themselves are main decking 3 Ghost Ogre. And yeah, there's pretty much nothing else to cover in Fire King. I mean, Skill Drain, that's kind of crazy. And yeah, some Bestow monsters, Phantasma Nibiru, more Hatchaps, because 12 was clearly not enough. Let's play like an extra 4, 5, 6, 7. Jesus, okay. Alright, this is where you might vomit just a little bit. So 10 by Dragon. Should I actually call this deck 10 by Dragon, or should I call it Hand Traps featuring 10 by Dragon? Look at that, okay. We got 8 10 by Dragon monsters, 8. And then we got 6 10 by Dragon spells, so that's 14 card engine. With Terraforming and Prosperity, let's just say that Prosperity is a 10 by Dragon card. We've got 16 engine cards with 22 mother freaking hand trap. This is ridiculous. 1 Nibiru, double Phantasme, Magnamud, because it can search the 10 by Dragon monsters, that makes sense. and then triple Ash, triple Ogre, triple Bell, triple Maxi, triple Veiler, triple Imper. You can be a monkey, like an actual gorilla. You can have like an IQ of negative infinite, and then you just play a bunch of hand traps in your deck, you just draw them, and you're like, hand trap, hand trap, hand trap, a normal summon my 1-card starter, there we go, OTK. Yeah, this is actually just ridiculous. Like, the state that we are in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, where more than 50% of your deck are hand traps, and then you only have just a bunch of 1-card combos. And if you don't draw your 1-card combo, you're playing a really bad deck, by the way. Yeah, like, you're not even playing a deck. You're really just playing hand traps featuring some cards. You're just doing nothing. If someone makes you go first, you pass. Like, you do nothing because this deck relies on battle phase effects in order to play. But again, this deck is not just a gimmick because it is the second best deck. Because when you draw your cards that make you play the game, and with, you know, the hand traps obviously to go along with them, going second, you just OTK with like 37,000 damage with one single card. I don't even understand anything about the extra deck. I just know like Trident Dragon, Black Rose, Moonlight, Baron. No more Ancient Fairy Dragon with when there's a whale, there's a way out. People used to play that, not anymore. I understand it's really gimmicky with like set rotation and stuff. We are still seeing Striker Dragon, but no Romulus and no Rocket Engine. Sorry, holy shit, I almost died. Which also makes sense. 2 Forbidden Droplet as well as 22 hand traps because clearly we need 24 non-engine. Bro, the odds of breaking must be so high, honestly. And again, you lose to one hand trap. But to be fair, with the field spell, this card right here, you don't really lose that hard to like Veiler. Actually, you don't lose to Veiler, period, so that's not too bad. And you don't lose to Ash because all of your things from like special summoning from deck and stuff, they all happen on damage step, if I recall correctly. It's when your monster battles. I think it's when the monster battles, not when it declares an attack. Let's see, if this card you can blah blah blah. Okay, so that's on the summon, and then if you control, you can, if a monster battles, you can, okay, so that's, yeah, yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And then there's, hold on, there's only one tuner monster, the fire dude. Yeah, so people are trying to cut off access from this card using the Black Goat Laughs Rumpelteufel. There you go. Because, yeah, if you can't get to this monster, then you can't synchro summon, meaning that your deck, at best, can only link summon. But just like the fire decks, this deck also plays fire monsters, obviously, which means they can go into the Hita Princess, Raging Phoenix, Zelantis OTK, the exact same thing as the Snake Eyes OTK. So yeah, it is pretty scary, so make sure that you take that into consideration. And then, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, 22 hand traps, and we're still citing more. Yeah, no, obviously, right? Yeah, you know, like 2 Nibiru, Phantasme, double Shifter, double Ghost Sister, 3, 5, 7... We can have a maximum of 29 hand traps in this deck. Bruh, like, come on, 29 hand traps. Like, are we even playing Yu-Gi-Oh at this point? Can we call this Tenpai Dragon anymore? No, the Tenpai Dragon is an engine in the pure hand trap deck. This is actually really... You know what? This makes me want to vomit. Let's just go to the next one. Okay, pure Snake Eyes. So exactly just like I mentioned, just like there's, again, anti-spell, summon limit, and everything, if you want to play a really nice trap card that has a lot of really good matchups, this card right here, Rumpelteufel, or the Black Goat Laughs, is actually kind of devastating. It can be good against a lot of decks, including Silent Force or Voiceless Voice. They only really have one boss monster, well, one relevant monster, which is the Skull Guardian. So if you can call that when they go Ritual Summon, either with Saphira or the Ritual Spell, then they don't really play the game. So it's a one-card turn skipper, and also it has a graveyard effect, just like Breakthrough Skills. So for everyone like who used to play that card back in the days, you can get a lot of advantage with one single card, which is always nice. It's not like D-Barrier, which only buys you one single turn. This card can have value. You can also discard it off of the Abel Star, and it does something. So I'm just overall a really big fan of Rumpelteufel. I think it's a really good card that you can play generically. It's not just in Labyrinth or in decks that try to mill or Foolish. This card is just overall good as a card if you physically draw it or as a thrust target. But for the list itself, I disagree with a lot of things. So first of all, there's, well, Birch. I don't really like that card. Triple Populace, that's a little too much, even though it's understandable. But we already have way too many, like, normal summons, right? We've got triple Bonfire with triple Ash. Do you really need to play for like 3 Populace? That's ridiculous. And then double Divine Temple, that's also kind of overkill. Just one should be enough. Like, you don't really want to break either. The rest is kind of fine. It's funny because it's a pure Snake Eyes deck that's only playing 13 non-engine. Well, no, that's not true, but 13 hand traps. It's actually playing Four more non-engine. Yeah, which is kind of a lot. And again, Snake Eye Diabellstar, interesting card for sure. I did underestimate this card. And people are no longer playing the Synchro package with like Jet Synchron, Formula Synchron, Borreload, as well as Ballon de Fleur in their list. Whereas in the TCG, it is, you know, common, it's a common thing. And again, more hand traps in the side deck, because clearly that's just not enough. So we're playing the Delta and Gamma package. Even in the TCG, we're seeing that. Subversion, I don't really like that card too much. I don't think it's great. It's the one out that you're only searching when you already have your original or your Divine Temple, but I guess I can kind of understand the usage against certain decks like Flunderies. You make them lose their M-Pen, and they basically just have to play the rest of the game without that M-Pen, because there's no way they can really clear it off of the Spell and Trap zone. And finally, we've got Voiceless Voice, where honestly, there's just nothing interesting about this list, like, whatsoever. Again, I don't really like Ghost Bell. I don't even think it's a good card. A lot of hand traps and 4 pots, which is interesting, because in the TCG, people could be doing the same thing, and they're willingly choosing not to do that. They're only playing like 1, 2 Prosperity, maybe 3 sometimes, but Prosperity could be limited, and it wouldn't really affect this deck too much, because Drool can hurt, and you don't want to play too hard into Drool. You don't want to have like the bad search cards. You don't want to use like search cards that search cards that also search cards, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So if you could like get your stuff going right away, like as soon as possible, that would be nice. So that's the reason why the other cards are always maxed out, you know, like 3 Saphira, 3 Novox, 3 Diviner. These cards are like the good searchers. And then 3 Barrier as well, obviously, right? But like, pre-prep is just not that great. It searches like your Seravis or Skull Guardian and the Ritual Spell. Ritual Spell is actually dog shit. Like, if you draw that and pre-prep and Saphira, you've got at least 1 dead card in your hand. You just gotta choose like which one it is. It's either the pre-prep or the Saphira, because you have to foolish the Ritual Spell off of the Saphira if you want to be able to get your search for the Ritual Monster. It's actually really pathetic. And then the extra deck, very irrelevant, nobody cares, but it's actually very similar to my extra deck, so that's kind of cute. I really like the fact that there is Hita, but no Link 3 that you can climb into. I mean, there is the Celine, but like, good luck getting there. You're gonna have to rely on Veiler. It's the only spellcaster that I can see, at least, that you can revive. There's no Droll or anything, and everything else is a fairy. I would at least play Princess, actually, while you're at it, with like a Link 4 Fire. There's nothing, but whatever. And then Summon Limit as the going first blowout when you are both side with D-Barrier, but no thrust, so you are not searching the D-Barrier, you actually have to draw it. That's kind of nuts. But yeah, in conclusion, the best decks from last format are still the best deck, and people are changing their side deck a little bit, but for the most part, the main decks are kind of solved. Even though I still disagree with some of their decisions, like, I still think, honestly, in hindsight, because the thing is, I'm playing current TCG pretty competitively. Fire King is a deck that I'm really trying to, like, optimize to actual perfection. When I see something like this, it just doesn't look, legit. And again, you can use the argument of, oh yeah, but there's Maxi and everything. I don't know, it has to be because of that and not because of the existence of Tenpai Dragon, because even when you look at like older breakdowns when Tenpai Dragon was not a thing, this one's like super old. There's still the exact same amount of Fire King cards. Well, actually, to be fair, there's only 1 island, so it's 9 Fire King cards, but there's still the main deck Skyburn, the 3 Kirin. I'm not really seeing anyone do well in the OCG with 2 Kirin. And the Garunix Eternity Xyz has been in their extra deck for the longest time, whereas in the TCG, nobody's playing it, and recently, I guess people have started cutting it. Actually, no, that's a lie. People are still playing it. That is absolutely nuts. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.